I really wanted to discuss how it started, how was your journey, how it begins.
Our family belongs to the middle class. So when I was young, my mother used to ask me, "What would you be in the future?"
So, what's the one thing that you want to teach them that the students will take them forever in their life?
I would like to let them remember the 5 Ds: determination, dedication, discipline, diversity, and of course, direction.
So, welcome to our podcast, Scopix, the place where you can choose any get education about the schools, educators, and knows the journey of the educators, how struggleful and how it's really hard to be in the certain position. And we can see the educators are really living the people's, educating the other people's lives. So somehow we will discuss about their journey, their struggles. I believe after this podcast, the way of the people seeing the education will live differently. And we have a very special guest, Dr. Maylem. I really admired him the most, and I'm really thankful that he is here with us. And he's currently the Association Dean of the PLTCI College of Medicine and a member of the Harvard Club of the Philippines from Harvard Medical School and so on. He has also been the former Chief Training Officer of the Isabela General Hospital and also being the Chief of Medical Staff of Divera Medical Center Incorporation. He's a hardworking person and he really gives him his time and his work, and I personally admire him the most. Thank you very much that you give us some time to us. So before starting, I'm really thankful that you are here, and I really admire you the most because I have seen you doing the hard things, everything in time, and making the time of everything. So before starting any of your achievements for now, I really wanted to discuss how it started, how was your journey, how it begins.
Good day to everyone. Well, of course, Prince introduced me to you. He had this research work done also, and I'm happy that I'm one of his guests. And so maybe issues like education and leadership, and maybe management is sometimes very important to talk with, no? And of course, I am very happy that I would like to share what my journey and of course my best output as to the establishment of a medical school. You were asking me a while ago about my journey.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so well, I started when I was young. Okay, so when I was young, my mother used to ask me, "What would you be in the future?" And I have three choices actually. My first choice is to be a doctor. Second choice to be a doctor again. And third choice to be a doctor. In other words, I have nothing more to ask for but to become a doctor. You know? And well, of course, our families belongs to the middle class, and so we're not. So really, our parents really has to work hard, no. And we're six in the family. All of us went to school, sabay-sabay, or at the same time. And so my mom and dad has to fend for our education. And thanks the Lord that they were able to run through our desires or our pursuits in life. And I studied high school. Of course, when I was in high school, I remember I've been a leader then. I also excel, no? And I think I got the leadership award and I got the salutatorian award. And when I went to college, I enrolled at UST College of Science then, and pursued my education, my medical education at the University of Santo Tomas in the same school. And of course, pursuing a medical degree is really a hard job or a tough job. I mean, so you really have to um, maybe work your best out, and of course, something like you have to spare your time mostly on reading your books, studying, etc. No, so you don't have time for some other things. No, and that's the price of being a medical student. So because you forget gallivanting around, or you forget watching movies sometimes, or even watching whatever things you are the what do you call this, the extracurricular activities. So we really have to sacrifice. As a medical student, those are sacrifices really, and the times of your youth. And then so you instead of focusing your time to some other things like going to the movies or attending parties, then you should not be doing that because you have to devote your time studying your medical degree or your medical education. And of course, I finished my medical education. I went into residency training. I pursued adult neurology program, and I had my fellowship in child neurology also. And then I started to work as a doctor. So first, I worked at the boondocks of the mountains of Ifugao. So I worked there for 2 years, and of course, giving you your best service to the people of the Philippines, the Ifugaos, is really something that I really cherished much because this is a service to the to the needy. And this is what struck me because when I learned about the program outcomes of medical education, number 10 is social accountability. So maybe this is one way in retrospect thinking about I did my part in after my medical education because it's supposed to be giving back, no? So that's a social accountability. And of course, after that, I went to practice. I came back to my province, Isabela, Philippines. Of course, I my passion for teaching is there. In fact, I also took a job at the Cagayan State University College of Medicine as a faculty member, and then I after that. I went off. We were part of the pioneering team, no, of Isabela State University College of Medicine. So we established the ISU College of Medicine then. So and then later on I transferred to PLT, no, where I belong now. So I'm the associate dean of the College of Medicine, and of course, being a leader is something. It's a tough job actually, you know, especially with foreign students around. Foreign students are sometimes, well, of course, you have to adapt to their culture, and sometimes they do not attend their classes, or maybe, or maybe they attend the one or two, and sometimes they do not follow instructions. So these are the hurdles of a leader in the medical school. But in the other side of having these foreign students is also nice because you try to look at their cultures, their traditions, and in fact, it is also my pride that having educated one of these, for example, foreign medical students, and when they go back to their countries, for example, Somalia, Bangladesh, or Nepal, so there is that feeling of happiness because I was part of their educational career, medical education career, and so it boosts my my ego as well because I imagine shaping this young mind. So maybe that's part of educating, that's part of my passion as a teacher.
But I'm really interested in like you have been to UST, right? So,
Yeah.
and it's been really historic and really, the UST college is well known for producing the well-known doctors in the Philippines, as far I know. I wanted to know, like, how did that experience hit you as a value as a doctor? And like, do any lessons in the UST you learned you still carry until now?
Yes, actually, my pre-med and my medicine we're both I both graduated from UST College of Medicine and the UST College of Science. And of course, what strikes me most, no, as part of a human being, is that the educational value of UST tradition is something like there is art and science, no. Okay, so and there is humanity there. So when we talk about humanity, actually, of course, it starts with the prayer, no? When we start our class, it starts with the prayer, and then the humanity side is that we there is compassion in treating your patients. There is the warmth that you project to your patient. And well, I'm not trying to differentiate my school from the other school, what they have, but that was my experience, no? So it was my experience really that molded me. That sometimes when you talk to your patient, you become more compassionate because was my tradition then. That those are the things that keeps me remembering that when I treat a person, I should be treating this as a human being. I should be engaging. I should not be rude. Although sometimes the children are basically maybe they're so magulo, something like that. But it's my patients, no? Because I have to realize that these are patients and they behave not like that because they're sick. So I really feel that the difference of a humanism concept of a EST tradition was within me, and that's the reason I'm proud of it as a Tomasian.
Yeah, it's nice. Your students.
Yeah.
So that I'm really curious on one more thing. Like, I have been seeing in every country,
Yeah.
like people usually try to settle wherever they study the medicine, or you could have also settled in Manila itself.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I have seen like many doctors been settled in the capital city, earning for the earnings for their families,
Yeah.
everything. But you've been back to Isabela. What really makes you choose your own place rather than
Yes.
be in the city?
Well, of course, when I finished my medical school, my schooling, I pursued my residency and fellowship training. And because neurology here in the countryside is there's a dearth of neurologists here, so that propelled me to go home. In fact, balancing between the academe and the clinical practice, I said, well, I must go home there. So I went home, bringing my skills, my knowledge, and of course, I was met with doubts of by my colleagues then, no, the older ones, the traditional doctors. Maybe they told me that we have survived without a neurologist during that time. So I said, well, maybe making a difference is my goal now because I should make a difference, practice differently, of course, within the context of the neurological practice and neurological way. That if ever I could spare or I could maybe let a life lived for because of that difference, then maybe that will signal to everyone that I am needed in the community, something like that.
And like I'm also a medical student,
Yeah.
and for the residency, I have heard like neurology is really the vast course for the residency and other things. I've listened many stuffs like why did you choose the neurology for the residency and for the further review? Why it was so specific for the neurology?
Well, my my dream then was to become a brain specialist or a scientist, a neuroscientist. That was my big concept about my dream then. So, neurologist neither neuroscience, right? And so I said I would like to pursue a career in neuroscience. And since I'm a doctor, maybe neurology is the better for me. In fact, after finishing my neurology adult neurology training program training, I went into a subspecialty, a child neurology program, and then my wife told me, "Oh, uh, I told my wife." I would like to pursue neurosurgery. I told my wife, Dr. Lorna. Then Dr. Lorna said, tama na, stop na. Build your family na, sabi gano'n, eh. So, so I said, maybe she's correct, no? Because we're getting old then at that time. So we have to raise a family, and then we have to raise our kids then. So I said, yes, maybe you're correct because I'm tired. I'm tired. Because if I will pursue neurosurgery, then I might forget neurology because I might be pursuing my career in neurosurgery. So I stopped and I enjoyed being a neurologist. And thanks God, my practice is very doing well. And maybe that's the price of hard work, right?
Yeah, it's really hardworking, sir. I really appreciate that. You have been from very below to very above by hardworking and very
Yeah.
struggleful life.
Uh,
It's really admiring. So I have also known like you have been to Harvard Medical School for leadership in medicine. How like sir being connected with the Harvard Club Global Philippines and Harvard Medical School places you in a global network and thought of leaders, right?
yes.
So, how do you think, like, how was that international exposure shaped your perspective of medicine and education and here in the Philippines? Like, how do you want to make it perspective? How do you want to how do you want to teach some others people? Okay, because you have been to leadership in medicine from the Harvard.
Yeah.
Harvard is most respected
Well,
schools in the world.
I am lucky, Prince, that I got a scholarship for Harvard Medical School, no? And I took this leadership in medicine for Southeast Asia. I think we're 66, lucky 66 people there, and from all over Southeast Asia. And we had a very nice way of educating ourselves, no? Because we share the educational institutions of some other countries. And in the Harvard Medical School, we learned about financing a hospital. We learned about human resource for health management. We come up with some innovations, design thinking. So these are some of the things that I would like to share after finishing this course. And of course, being a Harvard graduate or short of a Harvard graduate is something like it boosts my confidence, no, in dealing with some problems and maybe to share the school where I'm connected now, and so giving a touch of Harvard probably.
Yes, sir.
So maybe that will make a difference in the delivery of services actually.
So, Doc, can you just share like one specific thing that you really want to put in the Filipino education, medicine of education system that you took from the Harvard?
Well, I learned from the Harvard Medical School about human resource for health. Now, in the Philippines, human resource for health is actually a problem. Imagine allowing a nursing student or maybe a doctor to graduate in the College of Medicine, knowing that it's hard, it's expensive, etc. But eventually, the opportunities are not as good as what you expect. So they go out of the country. So what will they do there? They act as call center agents. So it's a waste of resources. So I see that part of a real issue that maybe let's change the paradigm that if you're a graduate of medical school, you should become a doctor because learning or studying medicine is something like already difficult.
Yeah, it's
But
giving
studying,
stick with the books.
yeah, we stick with the books. So I look at it as a paradox actually, and so that pains me sometimes because even in the Philippines, some doctors are studying to become nurses, and they go abroad. They practice as nurse. So where is their doctor thing there? So, none, or maybe it just disappeared. Why? Because working probably there is more lucrative than working here. So maybe a change paradigm actually of the medical education, maybe a competency-based program or something like a performance in terms of high stakes and low stakes examinations or something like that. No? So you can probably change the concept of medical education.
Yeah, it will really improve and it
Yeah.
will really take the youth back to this
Yes.
the country itself.
Yeah, that's
Boost the
correct.
economy as well.
Yeah.
Certainly.
In your country, for example,
Yes.
here from
Yeah.
Nepal, so they need doctors,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
even the Philippines, we need doctors here.
Exactly.
So maybe when you go home, you practice medicine. Do not practice. Do not become a businessman. Oh,
So,
maybe your family is an affluent family, so you have several businesses in your fold. And so when you go there, you practice.
yes.
So it's very difficult to to say that because sometimes medical students also are their parents are also, let's say, they have businesses, they are affluent also. So when you go home, you might as well continue the business of the family. No longer practicing medicine. So that's a different story actually. So
Yes.
I hope it should not be that way. Because globally, in South Africa, in Africa, for example, I learned in Harvard that they designed the medical curriculum, a short, not the four-year resident, for 8-year program, but they designed a short program for the people of Africa. So maybe they shortened it so that when these people will go back to their country, then they are able to serve. So maybe that's a competency-based program. So I think there should be some paradigm here. So it's a hard work or it's a work in progress, but we have to do something, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be done something. And I have really learned like something. You have been to also the former chief training officer at Southern Isabela
Yes,
General Hospital.
yeah.
So how was the experience? Please share.
Well, I was the first training officer of the Southern Isabela Medical Center because our vision there was to come up with a training program. So we first accredited family medicine and then internal medicine and then everything followed already. So I am very happy that I pioneered the program because pioneering a program is also difficult, no? So imagine letting the different departments to be accredited by the accrediting societies, for example, family medicine, PCPs, pathology, derma, etc. So maybe the job of a training officer is really something tough. It's really tough. And I started it, and then my colleagues continued the program. So I feel that I started it right, no, and giving my best so that we will be able to come up with a training program. In fact, now I think almost all the departments of Southern Isabela Medical Center are accredited. It started from where I stood up them and then continued growing until today. So maybe it's a form of, well, another legacy perhaps, but
It's very respectful that it's been there and it's working
yeah.
as a trainee, as a young youths are being trained. I'm also going to be a clerk. I'm also going to be an intern. I'm also going to be a trainee. Stuff like how do you think like how you see the young doctors? Some young doctors do some mistakes, like unfortunately they don't want, but somehow they
Uh,
it goes, it happens. But how do you control the situation?
well, actually, I'm also the program director of the medical flagship program of PLT, no? And learning things the hard way is really something that you have to treasure. Well, of course, as a medical clerk, that is the best time for you to commit mistakes. As a medical clerk, that's the best time for you to commit mistakes. Why? Because you are in the custody of a resident or a consultant.
Yeah.
So, but well, of course, it's a mortal sin also to commit mistakes. The gravest mistake of killing a person. because that would be a different story. But for minute mistakes or for small mistakes, maybe it's tolerable, you know, as long as it is part of the learning process. It's not really a terrible one, but it was really something that we really have to contend with, because those are some situations wherein we're not in control, no? But it is best for you, for the medical clerks, to learn. Now, if you don't know, you ask your intern. If you don't, the intern doesn't know, you ask the resident. If the resident doesn't know, you ask the consultant. So that's the process of learning,
Yes, right.
and that's the hierarchy. And well, of course, while it is true that we should not be dealing so much on this hierarchy of modeling, I should say, but it's a tradition, no? Because you have to learn that way, because you cannot learn without hands-on, right? So if you're hands-on, then maybe, oh, I did an intramuscular injection, so something like that. Or I did an IV push. So these are some small achievements that you do as a medical clerk.
I believe also like making mistake is I think learning. I think it believes like they are learning actually. They
Yeah,
are trying to learn even some of course the grave mistake is not
that killed.
yeah. The grave mistake cannot be
Yes.
compromised. But
Yeah.
simple mistake I believe also like some mistakes happen while learning.
Yes.
That's how the process starts. That's how the process goes for the learning.
Committing mistake is, I think, part of the learning process, no? As long as it's not so massive, it's not so severe that you try to damage control, so something like that, no? And maybe uh, part of the learning process, of the learning curve.
Doc, can you share a moment like a doctor committed some mistake that you still remember and you're still hating? You don't need to tell the name, but
Okay.
let's discuss
A
about this.
medical clerk, you mean?
Yeah, any medical
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
doctor.
When we were a medical clerk, one of my classmates was usually we're decking in terms of monitoring patients, right? So maybe 7 to 12, you'll be the one. 12 to 5 or 6, you'll be the one to monitor. So there was a patient who is a rheumatic heart, the disease patient with congestive heart failure. So this patient cannot sleep lying, no? So he sleeps, or she sleeps at the side of the bed doing like this. So one time, I think my colleague then was, my classmate then was, she felt asleep, and then she wasn't able to monitor the patient. And so until 6 o'clock she wakes up, but there was no monitoring. So she writes it down. She completed. We call it filling the blanks. Then, so she filled the blanks as if it were monitored. But the resident said, "How come you have a monitoring sheet uh, complete, and the patient died, and you don't know that the patient died?" And so we were thinking, "Oo nga naman," sabi ko gano'n. Sabi ko, "Oo nga naman." Because supposedly, when your patient's dying, right? So maybe he missed it, or she missed it rather. And so there was a repeat rotation. So repeat rotation, that's too much. Oh, that's too much. So maybe that's one thing that I cannot because she's my group mate. So she.
Yeah, that's the things.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Doc. I really got to know that you are also a chief of medical staff of
Mhm.
Rivera Medical Center Incorporation. So, as a chief of medical staff of Rivera, you weren't just treating the patients. You were also leading the doctors or the
Yeah.
doctors also. So, what did the experience teach you about the leading professionals? And you are, of course, there are a lot of pressures also.
Yeah.
I believe the pressures is one of the most things.
Right.
And it's especially in high stake. It's also like
Yeah.
high stake hospitals.
I think I was chosen because nobody likes. Nobody likes it too. But maybe being a senior doctor, and of course maybe the credentials help. But leading your colleague is very difficult really. And just like medical clerks and foreign students and local students at the college at Manila, I just go with the right as long as it does not compromise the services or minor mistakes. I think it's okay. But leading them as a doctor or as a leader is really a tough job also. And coming up with policies as well. So maybe that's one way of circumventing the come up with policies and everybody will follow something. So it's just talking and talking. But if you come up with a policy and with a written document, then
Yes,
maybe
sir.
everybody follows
Yeah.
something like that.
That's how the system will
Yeah.
work. That's the system will. And how about the pressure? How do you handle the pressure? Like,
Well, of course, I've been used to pressure anyway. I've
first,
been used to pressure anyway. So, well, it's a something like sometimes it's a work in progress that you have to deal with, no, with some with job especially, and of course balance it with some innovations and finding solutions to solve the problem as well. Maybe coming up with a policy to circumvent that issue and maybe come looking at the brighter side of leading. Maybe you just shrug your shoulders sometimes, and then you're friends again, no? So these are some issues that you have to contend with because it's very difficult really to rule different personalities. Yeah. And maybe it's just the your presence maybe has or your being a senior has brought something like a definition that you oops we should follow our senior so something like that so that everything will be all right.
yeah, in the system. So, I actually wanted to know about like you also studied some research and you studied research and development management at
Yeah.
UP Open University
Yeah.
also. So you have been doctor and you have also been studied some. This. I believe this course is beyond some medical students do study.
Yeah.
So like, so you're studying this research and development management is a very rare path for the medical students, medical leaders. Like, what really made you pursue it, and like how it changed the way you lead, the way you think, and the way how it changed the way to maintain the pressure and the leadership. I believe it's a leadership program.
Yeah.
And then what really got to
Mm.
get to know you, what really need this teaches you to be in the leadership board.
Okay. Well, I finished my research course at UP, and of course, this is because my penchant for research, no? And so I was trying to look for a course then that would lead to my mold as a researcher. And so I got this course, and actually, it was not really a research that is basic research, no, something like that. But it was a research and development. So meaning, if you do research, it should be for development. Okay. If you do something, it should be for the good. So I was at SIMC then. So I pioneered the research program. So yeah, and I'm thankful that every time we talk about research of SIMC, they talk about me pioneering the program.
Yes.
And then I went to to the Isabela State University College of Medicine. My concept of research then was not purely medical research. I would like a research and development. So maybe you come up with something and then you come up with a research output that should be for development. So I tried I collab with a doctor with a colleague of mine. He made a research on one particular plant for as a hepatoprotectant drug. And so, but he told me that his research ends there, just discovering. And I told, let's develop this into for commercial purposes. So that's what I did. So we developed it for commercialization, and I enrolled this for the for something to develop the product, and then to sell the product, and maybe I will become a liver hepatoprotectant drug magnate later on. So, So that's research and development.
Yeah, I think also like for the development and the research things, I think this also gives you the confidence for being the leadership, and that's how I also believe that you are being the chief of the, you are still being the chief of the staff of the members of the Divera. So I feel like yeah, this also helps you a lot for being the making the system, making the policies, because you have been studied the development and the research
Yeah.
programs also.
Well, research here is not R&D here is not only a researching product.
Mhm.
It's even a process. For example, we did a research on best practices for the Vera Medical Center. So we tried reinventing the practice of commitment, collaboration, and compassion as a tool for navigating your success stories in patient care, no? So in that won an Asian award for Hospital for Asia, I think somewhere about 10 years ago or 5 years ago. So we're trying to come up with a research and development wherein the technology that we're trying to espouse is a practice or a what do you call this, a best practice, and that is not, and that is actually the beauty of R&D. It's not only a technology, but it's also an idea sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it helps.
Yeah.
Doc, I have also been known that you have a neuropsych referral center.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it's a referral center of mental wellness and clinic too, right?
Yes.
So, in general, how does you give? Okay, so let's discuss about
Yeah.
some information that will be useful for general peoples too. So, I feel like you are a neurologist, right?
Yes.
So sometimes I feel like the general people doesn't understand like why they should go to the neurologist, but they have to. Even in my country, like I have seen many people, they have been getting the neurologic disorders like epilepsy, other things, neurologic disorders, but they don't understand. I think maybe because most of them are not educated about the neurology disorders. They only focus on the cardiology and other things.
Yes.
But I feel like the neurology disorder is the must thing they should be worried about.
Yes.
It's about the brain things.
Yeah.
So in general, I want you to discuss like how does general people who doesn't know about the medicine can know, oh, I have this problem, I should consult the doctor.
Yeah. I think neurology in the Philippines is not a very shall I say a very not very young but relatively young specialty in in the field of medicine, and of course trying to teach people and even your colleagues. Sometimes your colleague doesn't know that there is a neurologist around or there is a need for a neurologic consult, because sometimes they say when you say I have a weakness, so maybe just plain and simple doing an X-ray. So they do that. No? But when you go to a neurologist, okay, the neurologist will say, what is your, maybe analyzing your problem? Is it an upper motor neuron weakness or a lower motor neuron weakness? Or where is it located? Is it in the spinal cord or in the brain? So things like that, that it becomes more scientific and polished. So maybe it's also our one of our advocacies in the Philippines about brain health now, especially the World Health Organization looks into this as a priority, especially on issues about mental health. No, so I think my clinic as a neurology neuropsych referral center, and besides I also practice psychiatry. No, so I combine neurology and psychiatry because sometimes it's very difficult to delineate psychiatric or neurological conditions. So,
Yes.
so it's very important you have to really consult the specialists about this. And mental health is one of the um, issues advocated by the World Health Organization, especially now that there are so many individuals suffering from mental health issues. And so it has to be addressed and it has to be but it has to be contained also because it is very difficult to address this if we are not aware that there is a neurologist around who caters on your mental health issues or and maybe somebody who can treat you or something like that.
Yeah, it's like it's really true that yeah, neurologist is one of the yeah. It's in this world. I am also seeing like many people are they being depressed, being in depression. They don't know, but I think they should consult like
Yeah.
this neurologist or psychiatric for their illness. But can you discuss one more thing like in the context of the Philippines,
Mhm.
what's the one disease or what's the one disorder that's really been increasing for the neurology from the neurology disorder.
Yeah, of course, number one for us still stroke, no? And maybe followed by epilepsy. And of course, I think dementing disorders are coming because dementia is increasing. Maybe because of increased lifespan or maybe because of the products of some environmental factors like pesticides, etc. No? So I think we should focus on these three most common or most important diseases that we see them in our practice every day. But there are other diseases like Parkinson's disease and maybe CNS infections. So those are some conditions that we really have to contend with, especially now that we have so many risk factors already coming out. No? In fact, the recent COVID infection has produced so much neurological complication.
Yes,
And the worst complication is, of course, the long COVID, which could be manifested as dementia, no, or brain fog. So it's very damaging actually that we see patients who had previous COVID infection do suffer complications of this the disease like long COVID and dementia.
So, Doc, can you suggest like one solution that how it can be controlled? So it will be also awareness for the people also to be aware like the for the leading disorders of the neurology, and it might also somehow also educate the peoples. Okay, so we will be safe from that, safe from this. And if it happens in the early stage, they can
Yeah.
consult to the neurologist, so it can be cured in
Yeah.
time. But so, can you just suggest some?
Actually, the best medicine is still prevention, especially for stroke. No?
Yes.
The our number one disease. No? And during these times, you can prevent it by controlling your hypertension because the highest risk factor is hypertension. Maybe your lifestyle, the food that you eat, okay, very important. Maybe the activities that you do. For example, a individual who is stressed in a situation that uh, sometimes he forgets to do some exercises, bad habits about eating, or something like that.
So, can you discuss like can you tell us about what's the importance of being an exercise or even yoga from the even the medical student to the general people? Like even for if we talk about in context of medical students, so I don't think they got the free time for doing anything. So
Well, maybe for a medical student, it's also nice to balance.
yes,
It's also nice to balance your life. Maybe exercise is just one.
yes,
Doing it 15 to 30 minutes a day is also helpful. Not the hardcore exercises. Maybe the diet also. I see that most of the students now eat noodles, no? So why? Because it's easy to prepare, and that should not be, So and even some exercises like maybe yoga, no? That's a good exercise also. It's a good I don't know if you practice yoga.
yeah, I do that.
Okay, so do you levitate also?
Yes,
Okay, so one time I would like to see you levitate.
I'm actually a gym guy, doc.
Okay.
So I believe, yeah, yoga or exercise is also one of the most important part of the life. I also believe that, I'm also a gym guy person, and I believe if you eat you have to do a exercise a little bit. If you just give like 30 minutes is enough, even if you cannot manage the time, at least do a 30 minutes walk or running, something like this, walking, jumping ropes, something like that. So I also believe that the exercise is one of the most important part of our
And that's
life.
the cheapest, no?
Yes,
That's the cheapest, no? Rather than going to the gym,
yes,
then, well, you can do this at home or
yeah.
your flat, for example.
These
So,
days, these days, I think like you can see many YouTube videos for the yoga.
yes,
You can just give 10, 15 minutes from the video that you can continue the yogas.
yes.
And it will be also, I believe it's a very essential for us. And
Mhm.
it's essential. It's essential for the long term. Also. So let's. Okay. So Doc, I really wanted to know about. You are the associate dean of the PLDC, I call it the medicine guy.
Mhm.
So I wanted to let the students who is studying.
Mhm.
So, what's the one thing that you want to teach them that takes them that the students will take them forever in their life?
Well, I think, well, when you talk about success stories, no, success, my success story, I would like to let them remember the 5 Ds, no, determination, dedication, discipline, diversity, and of course, direction. So all these things must be in their mind so that every time they do their thing, it's of course well directed. And I think being a student is also a difficult job, you know. So maybe your discipline here is very important, no. And uh, well, your dedication, I think, is also as important as your determination because you cannot finish your course if you're not determined to pursue it, right? So, and then your dedication makes you more focused, no? So, focus here is number one. And of course, the bottom line here is, of course, humility, you know. So, just like what I always tell to my students, no? When you reach your success stories already, well, be humble because everything follows, you know.
Yes.
It's very difficult to be bragging about, oh, I came from Harvard University, and without showing. Well, maybe your success stories will just pinpoint or determine who you are, and not really bragging your points or whatever.
I believe also like the success story is not easy to get. There are a lot of struggles which the people
Yeah.
cannot see, and it is sometimes the people does without seeing the struggles also.
Mhm.
So I believe also like this people will also see the struggles and how the struggle is being gone with that. So I would also like to ask for something like you have been to a lot of fields, you have been to many countries and other things. You have been in the education field, in the medical field to the countries. So, what's the one thing you really want to, you really wish if it would be applied in the Philippines as an education or as a medical profession thing?
Well, I think you have seen my travels. So.
Yes, so you have been, I think you have been recently to Korea also.
Yes. Well, that's my, shall I say, it's my perk actually, because of course, as a neurologist, so it is also nice to go to these different areas, attending conferences, no? And of course, some are perks, some are R&R also. And this is what also I enjoy because you see a lot of people, your colleagues, and then a lot of the diversity there is of course learning from their cultures as well. Now, as a an educator in the PLT College of Medicine, I would like to, of course, there are certain, shall I say, things to be done, okay, as a matter of fact. Maybe something like a change in a curriculum that is based on not the traditional 4-year course, but the course that would adjust to the modern times. So, for example, the giving of examinations, no? those are traditional ones, no? Giving examinations. Why not those are low stakes exams? Eh? Imagine you used to memorize, no, something like that. So those are low stakes method of evaluating. So we go high stakes. So we have to give competency based or high stakes in terms of what you should achieve later on. And so my favorite method, my favorite mode of giving examination is the problem-based type.
Yes.
So even though you're first year student, so still you should know what's hemiplegia, hemiparesis, or something like that, because these are you can read that in your books already. I
Yes.
don't have to tell you this. So I will just give you a case, and then you study and analyze. So that is becoming a doctor, because the more that you learn about the clinical side, the better you appreciate your subjects. So imagine gram stain, gram positive, gram negative, so something like that. Sometimes it's boring, right?
Yes.
But if you say you admitted a patient with a gram positive,
Yes. It will be more practical.
yeah, and you correlated it.
Yes, sir. And it will be also memorizable for us also,
Mm.
if you see the patient, if you see the treating them, it will also be memorizable. Oh, it's easy to memorize
Yes,
also.
because you correlated it with the
Yes,
clinical
and it
experience.
will also be useful for rest of our life. Also, we did this, we did that, and that time. So
Yes.
it will also, yes, like we
Yeah.
really have to
I
say.
think yeah, because that's the way how I give my exams. No? It's usually more on problem based, and I also give recall items, like for example, what is, like that. No? But the more I am challenged by giving you a problem based examination, because I would like you to think clinically, because when you become a doctor already, those are your strengths, your clinical eye, no? So you need to practice that. And of course, the simulation based learning also is something is challenging here, because in our time, we used to talk to patients, no? And in your time, you used to talk to robots, right? And so there is a disconnect there, because in our time we become more empathetic, we become more compassionate, we learn some values, no, that we really have to appreciate that. In your time, for example, because you repeatedly deal this kind of patient, so you go into a mannequins, no, for you to be able to but you're also missing something there,
Yes,
because the human touch is not present.
yes.
But you learn more in
Yeah.
terms of doing it repeatedly for this kind of and of course, as my thing is, there should be a competency based curriculum. So after finishing this course, I should be able to do for example, epidemiological survey. So when you finish PrevMed, for example, you should do how to do an epidemiological study. So, uh, because that's a different story when you say, okay, Prince, your boss said, your doctor or your secretary of health will say, oh, Prince, you do an epidemiological study about diarrhea in Timbuktu, for example. And then you will your face gets blank because you don't know how to start or where to start. So these are the things that we should like you to be competent about,
Yes, sir.
because these are the things that you should be doing when you become a doctor. You are not memorizing gram positive, gram negative. You don't do that in the field, right?
Yes.
So where am I going to start? Okay. So you should be there. No? So
Yes.
you should conduct the epidemiology. So, so your strength in research is very important. Okay. So I think those are some of the things that maybe should be,
Yes.
modified.
Yeah, practical, practical knowledge should be must focus.
Yes. Yeah.
Rather
So
than the
yeah,
book is
yeah,
like,
the bookish type.
yeah, book is like.
Well, I think we are changing naman, no?
Mm.
We're changing. And so it's actually the faculty should adapt, no? For example, I graduated last so and so, and if I do not update myself, my skills, and what should I be teaching you? So the old skill, and it's no longer the it's not longer the old one. And it does not jive with the modern trend now. So maybe that's also the hard part of a teacher, that we have to adapt, and maybe something like staying attuned, and of course some burnout, no? Maybe I just don't know if you are already burnt out in terms of
Yeah, dog. It's really
okay.
like, being a medical student, it's a pressure with full of burnouts
Yeah.
every time. Okay, so Doc, let's discuss a little bit about. I really wanted to know, in 2019, 2020, 2021 was the year of the pandemic, right?
Yes.
And I believe also, my father is also a teacher. He's also a professor of mathematics. And I have also seen him like changing the way of teaching the students, way of educating the others. It's really been changed from the old
Yes.
schools to
So,
the
yeah.
new schools. I believe this was the new change
Yeah.
for the institutions, for the teachers and everything.
Yes.
They really transform. They really change themselves to the digital world. So how do you think? How do you feel in your way? In
Well, I'm not a digital native because I was not born. I was born long ago.
yes,
Okay, so but I am a digital immigrant, no? Because I do not want to be caught off hand, not being abreast with the trend now, no? And of course, my children, no? Incidentally, I have three children. They're all doctors. The first one is a neurologist, the other one is a family med specialist, and the third is I think she's pursuing radiology. No? So well, they're all girls anyway, and my thing is that when I was part of the drafting of the ISU College of Medicine curriculum, the thing is of course changing the concept of teaching learning activities. Before it used to be just PowerPoints presentation. So maybe that's enough, no? Now, today the TLAs or teaching learning activities are varied. So we have what we call this flip learning. For example, you ask your student to study at home, and then you discuss it. In the school. You have some reflections. During our time, we don't make reflection paper. So, but it's part of the TLA now that they do some reflection analysis. Then what do you call this? Even some reaction paper, and then they present journals as well. So the shift now is not a teacher centered curriculum, but it's a student centered curriculum. So we are trying to empower the students more than us, no? And maybe that's the better side of us digital immigrants, no? Because we cannot cope up with the digital natives, so maybe the immigrant part is just trying to complement our lack of knowledge about digital technology. But of course, this should not be a reason for us not to delve into this, because apparently we are the mentors here. So we have to teach, and so we have to cope up with this change in the paradigm. So as a student centered curriculum. So we would like you to be at the center stage for the medical students. And so we ask you to do some reporting, you do some SGDs, the discussions, you do some flip learning, you do some reaction paper, reflection paper, and so many TLAs actually. So these are what will make you more adept or attuned with the present time, because we need communicators here.
yes, sir.
So if you're not a good communicator, can you become a good doctor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you cannot even say what are their feeling, for example. So if you are not a good nationalist, for example, if you're not proud of your country, for example, you should know how to communicate with the local language or something like that. So you should know how to connect interprofessionalism, interprofessional way.
Mm.
You should know how to connect with the midwives. You should know how to connect with the nurses, with the respiratory therapists, and so on and so forth. So these are members of the team. So you should know how to connect them. So being engaged with this kind of participation now will will make you different from the way we were produced.
Mm.
But precisely, we are the ones teaching you because we learned the hard way.
Yeah.
We learned the hard way of teaching or letting you become what you would we would like you to be, and those are the program outcomes actually. So
Yeah, also, Doc, I also believe like this is the best way. Like if a students get to be reporting, they first of all they know how to. They they make themselves they be the chorus. Okay, I have to speak. I have to practice.
correct.
So they will just practice. In my point of view, I'm also a student. So what I believe and what I've seen my friends been
Yes.
doing. So I believe yeah, it's also a good way for the students to be inactive. Active.
Yes.
And of course, like during the making the PPTs or during the reporting PPTs, I also believe that we actually do more research than the
Yes.
others.
Yes,
Actually,
actually.
we will just find out and stabilize everything.
Yeah.
What to
Yeah, actually, you're learning more than the just reading the PowerPoint.
Exactly, Doc.
Oh.
So if any professor will just provide the PowerPoint, so we'll just remember everything.
Yeah.
Or go with exams.
Yeah. But
Pass the
yeah,
exams.
but if I will say or discuss about the neuroanatomy and the neurophysiology of Parkinson's disease for a first year neuroanatomy student or who learns neuroanatomy and neurophysiology, then you research, you try to understand because you cannot stay in front talking nonsense, right? So you have to stay there in front talking with sense and trying to educate also your colleagues there, your classmates. So there is such a thing as Parkinson's disease. There is an imbalance of your dopamine, etc. So you are telling them now that this is the anatomical substrate that is happening in your patient. So something like that. So I think it is also it's also a must that you participate because the change in paradigm that a student-centered education should strengthen your competency because we cannot be at your side all the time, right?
Yes, Doc.
Okay.
It's like standing with their own.
Yeah. Maybe when you finish graduate, oh, I will call Dr. Maylem. Oh, you cannot do that. Okay. Oh, I will call Dr. Maylem. How to deliver this baby? Oh, I will call Dr. Maylem. So you cannot do that. You're there. So you must do something.
Yes.
And just recall what you have learned, how to deliver that baby. Okay. I recall that you have to do your Lockel's maneuver, something like that. Or you have to rotate the head in order to deliver the shoulder. So something like that. So it's a competency now that we taught you how to do it or how to handle these situations.
We are also trying to learn these things newly.
Yeah.
Doctor, I have really heard like after there is a revolution in the internet system also in the world.
Yeah.
There is a thing called the ChatGPT came out,
Okay.
and it's really been it's a Google another Google where you can search anything, it will
Yeah.
answer everything. I've also been looking and I've also been seeing from the profession and other also like do not use the ChatGPT. So I also believe in their perspective, if any students will use the ChatGPT and they will answer the questions, then they won't be learning those things because it's like a copy paste
Yeah.
thing. But there are also some pros also, and there are also some cons also. So what do you think about this?
Well, AI is there,
Yes.
will be there, and it's going to be there. So, in fact, AI will still improve as years go by. Maybe changing the doctor, cha- maybe change the doctor, no longer the doctor needed. No, it's not. I think you still need the human side of being a doctor. So it's not just, for example, oh, this patient has myoclonic jerks, and then you search in the internet or in ChatGPT, and it produces so many differential diagnoses. For example, myoclonic seizures, myoclonic jerks from Creutzfeldt-Jakob, etc. So still you need a doctor there who can decipher or who can balance the different symptoms. Or in the case of examinations, well, it's there, no, and sometimes it would be very difficult for your professor to be just relying on this mode of producing examinations. So, well, actually, if you just find the answer there, you cheated yourself, no? You did not study or you did not learn. For example, answering it maybe something like you should know the explanation, and that's the reason why sometimes I ask for explanation because googling it or consulting Dr. ChatGPT is not enough. Maybe explain to us, no?
Yes, sir.
So that we will understand, and I'm sure that you understood also, right?
So, you have been to a lot, you have done a lot of things. You are also the chief of, the trainee of, you are also here in Divera, you are also in the PNT, and you have been doing a lot of courses also, right? Doc, how do you manage the time management with your family? Like, I've also seen my father working from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., something like, and I have seen him working since every day. Not even there is no holiday on Saturday. There's no holiday on Sunday, and he really gives his time to the family. I can see because I am his son. So like, how about you? Like, how you give your time to their family?
Actually, well, of course, my priority is still my family, no? And one thing that probably makes me more advantageous than the others is I don't have vices. I don't I don't have other things outside my I don't do extracurricular activities, no. And so when it's vacation time, so I ask the whole family to join or to come. So we go abroad, we go visiting places, we go also here Boracay, etc. So those are some perks that I am sharing to my children. And because I have no vice, so I can devote more time, and doing my job. I'm not a fan of a multitasking job, but I used to, well, I'm not a fan, but I'm doing it because I have so many things to do, right? So maybe just a balancing of the your time involvement maybe, and of course sometimes I feel pressured also because I have to accomplish this, no? So maybe those are the times that I don't ha- I have sleepless nights. Uh, so trying to cope up with the things. Oh, I have 5 more assignments I haven't done, so something like that. So it's really something like, well, of course I enjoy it also. Maybe not as the way other people think, because some would say uh, they are enjoying in a sense in a different way. So mine is enjoying the way I think it should be done, and balancing life, and of course my foremost priority is actually my family.
I believe, yeah, it's a dog. Everyone has different way of enjoying
Uh-huh.
life, and yes, I believe you also said like, of course, everyone's actually the first priority is everyone's with their family
Yes,
also. I believe. Stock, can you also share like what's the you have been experienced a lot of things. You have
yeah.
been for education things
Mm.
outside of the country. Many countries you have been to education. Can you tell like what's the one thing that you really want to teach your children and that they can just take that one thing and forever in their life? That's the one thing, yeah, that they should learn. That's this is very necessary. That's very necessary.
Well,
And you really actually you really wanted to teach them because you have seen them, you have experienced them. and you want them not to do the mistake on the same thing, or
Yes.
you want to make them fix on the same thing. What the one
Well,
thing?
my foremost objective and almost always tell them is about discipline, and focus, And of course, discipline comes in so many language or in so many manifestations. So discipline in life, career, etc. Now, the one that I would like always to tell them is to inspire others. Okay, so maybe you're blessed. I tell them maybe you're blessed because you have pursued your courses, your course the way you like it, and then you have managed your achievement, no? And so the thing now is, of course, you inspire other people also through you. That is my every time. In fact, when they pass the board examination, so I made a tarpaulin in front of the house, and so I always say that be an inspiration to others. So I think that's what I would like them to believe on. So because if you inspire others, and then if you are transforming these people, then you are creating a better place to live,
Yes,
right? And of course, you're transforming or changing the community.
yes.
So maybe it's something like it's encompassing that if you inspire others, then you're as well reaping the good side of what you're doing.
It's like I still believe it's really impressive that the things the thing you told about inspiring others,
Yeah.
changing the lives that they sometimes some people go with the wrong path, but
Yeah.
with the some people influence,
Yeah.
they just being in the right path. Oh, okay, I have to do this. I have to
Yes.
go with this path. And I really believe on these things, and it's really impressive that we talk about this.
Yes.
Okay, let's wrap up and let's have some rapid fire
Okay.
questions.
Uh-huh.
It's just you can answer in one word, something like that.
Uh-huh.
So the first one will go like how you best advice you ever received.
Uh, from
Yeah, from anyone until now, like best advice you ever received.
yeah, humility.
Humility.
Yeah.
Okay. So worst advice you ignored.
Well, being proud of your achievements, or being there is pride in you, or something like being jealous about. So I don't feel that.
So one thing you wish more medical schools did.
I think the role of social accountability.
Okay. So a quote that keeps you grounded.
Well, I would say you have only one life to live, and live it well.
So, if PLTCI had a human personality, how would you describe it?
PLT as a human personality. Well, I would like to say that there is commitment, no? There is commitment. In fact, when I had my private conversations with Dr. Peter, he's also really doing his best, no, in order to change the the medical students. No? So there is commitment there.
So, if it were up to you, which subject would you add in the curriculum?
Well, I think I would like to add anthropology,
Mm.
the medical anthropology side, or maybe the social anthropology side. So it's study of human beings, no? So maybe the human side of the medicine. It's not only treating. Okay, you are diagnosed to have diabetes mellitus. You're diagnosed to have congestive heart failure. But the art is you have to look into the reason why this patient had diabetes, because his lifestyle is not good, so something like that. So maybe that I would like to change in the curriculum of PLT.
So, what's like a one controversial opinion you have about the education industry?
Well, of course, I mentioned about high stakes examination and low stakes examination last previously. So I'm not a fan of the low stakes examination, which needs rote memorization. So I would like to focus on competence, no, and that's why when you give an examination, it should be like leading to a competency based curriculum or education.
So, have you ever been regretted to be a teacher or a doctor?
I would like both.
So you are loving it.
Yeah, I would like both.
Okay, that's we are wrapping up with the podcast, and I really appreciate your hard work, and
Uh-huh.
I really appreciate that you gave your precious time to us, and really thankful that you gave us some time.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you very much, Prince, for inviting me and being part of your podcast. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.